Hi everybody, we're going to talk in this video about how to conduct inquiry or investigation of a topic using social media. So a lot of times you're in a class like this one, an English class or another type of class that might have writing in it, and you're given an essay and they just allow you to choose a topic, and then you go home and you're sort of like, I don't know where to go with this, or you sort of might search the internet for the top 50 types of comparison contrast or research papers. And I don't think that's the best way to approach choosing a topic. A lot of times I think you can be more invested with a topic if you use another mode of investigating that topic. Now, please understand that once we get into the scholarly research part of this class, you won't be using these sources that you find with the social media aspect or the Google aspect. You won't be citing those in a paper. But it's a really cool way to explore a topic, use something that you're already comfortable with and already sort of interested in doing, and then allowing yourself to explore a topic before you know, sometimes you don't even know what you're interested in until you've explored it. So bear with me. This may be something that you're not accustomed to or something you've never been asked to do in a college classroom or in a high school class. But I think this really works, and it helps you sort of discover the topic that interests you the most or something that you think you can go to the next step with. And that's very important. So the worst thing in the world is to choose a topic. You're not really invested in it. You don't even know if you can find a lot of information on it. And then you're sort of stuck with it to write the paper. So I thought I would do this video, and then we'll go through sort of a couple different ways that you can do some preliminary research using social media and Google. And remember, Google is not considered a scholarly resource. It's more considered an everyday usage of the internet, and most of the time you do not find scholarly resources there. So there will be another video later to show you how to do scholarly research. There's one that the library does, and then there's one that I do, and I think it's just a good way to hear the explanation twice. So let's go out to where we can search. So I'm going to use Google to start with, and let's say I love the beach, and I'm interested in preserving turtles. That's interesting to me. I think it's a cool kind of hobby that some people have, helping preserve and protect turtles. We also have the straw issue with turtles. There's a big push right now environmentally to stop using plastic straws because it hurts marine life. So if I just put in preservation of turtles, and I'm sort of doing this in the moment so that we can do it together. I should have said conservation, but anyway, Google always improves whatever we do. So this talks a lot, just automatically. I sort of had a thought about a turtle. Maybe I was at the beach for the summer, and I saw some nests or some people protecting the nests, and I just wasn't sure what was going on, or maybe I just love turtles. But right off the bat with Google, there's just like a little thing from a fishery source, and it sort of starts discussing some of the keywords, phrases of turtle conservation. So I'm going to let Google correct that for me. And there are a lot of different issues you can explore with turtles, and so you may not be a turtle expert yet. So it's a good idea to maybe read through some of these things that come up in your initial search. But if we look over here at the number of hits that we get just with conservation of turtles, we see that it's over 17 million. And there's no way that any of us are going to read or explore 17 million anything. So I'm going to put my glasses on so I can kind of read some of this a little bit better. But so the first thing is about conservation in Costa Rica. There are some volunteer programs. I know, because I'm from the beach area in North Carolina, that there are a lot of groups that volunteer and they protect these turtle nests, and there's a whole conservation movement for improving the beach environment and also sustaining the sea turtles. So you would just sort of read through that, and you that's when you're going to start to narrow it down. You're going to just see what's interesting to you. Also with Google, right off the bat, we see what some other people have asked. So how can we save the turtles? And then here's some other things that we'll notice. And so it says reduce marine debris. And that might go in a little bit with the straw issue as well. It's also trash, litter at the beach can affect them, plastics. So we sort of see some ideas. So what I would like for you to do is just have like a blank piece of paper, a pad of paper, scratch paper off to the side while you do this, and start writing down some keywords, some things that interest you. You may not care anything about the straw issue, but you may be interested in some other things in the marine environment, and you may find that out as you search through the turtle hits that you get. Here's how many turtles die each year. And so that might spawn something that you would search later. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just asking you to do an inquiry, which means you're just inquiring. You're not sure about the finality of it. You're not sure about where you may end up with it, but you're just going to do some exploration. And this is very important as a college student to be accustomed to exploring topics, not just asking your mom, dad, friend, what should I write about? You need to discover that for yourself. That's very important. So this is a pretty easy way to do that without too much stress. So anyway, a lot of these things may interest you, but you would just read through them. And then of course there are some more articles and some more websites that you could explore as well. So that's Google, okay? Now, just for the sake of conversation, I'm just going to copy this conservation of turtles. And then I'm going to open up a new tab just for ease. And I know a lot of you guys like to use Google Scholar. So let's go to Google Scholar and let's just put in the same search. I do want to encourage you to change up the search, but just for the purpose of discussing this with you, I'm going to stick with the same search. But as you're doing the Google Scholar, and then some of the social media things I talk about, I want you to change up the keywords, the phrases that you use. You should probably do a minimum of 5. Much more would probably open up different avenues for you. So it's very important to vary the way you ask for the information so that you'll get a good source of information as you go. So I know a lot of you use Google Scholar as you research for high school writing, and you might have done that in the past. I don't hate Google Scholar. I don't tell you that you can't use Google Scholar, but there are a couple things with Google Scholar that you need to be aware of. One, just like Google, it's a commercial, it's a business. They sometimes put things on there that are for sale, and you should never pay for any kind of article or any kind of information. We live in an internet age. You can get a lot of things off of Google just for information's sake. Like I said, once we go to scholarly research, you'll just stick with the library databases. But Google Scholar is considered, a scholarly source, but it's still a commercial site. It's a commercial search engine. So just be really careful when you're looking through here that you develop some criteria for things that you would use. So I'm just going to do the first one. We'll see what we get. We never know. So it looks like this may not be a full text article. So a couple things to look for, to notice, is this just gives you an abstract. An abstract is only a summary of the larger article. The other thing that I notice is they're asking us to log in or register. And this may not be true every single time, but sometimes they're wanting you to pay for a membership, or it may send you to another site where they're asking you to pay for the article. So just be aware of that. And like I said, never ever pay for any kind of scholarly article, because as we progress in this class, we're going to learn that our libraries, our academic libraries, they buy the subscriptions to these databases, and you should be able to get either something just like it, or in some cases you may be able to get the same article in the library databases. So like I said, I'll do a whole different video for that just as we discuss it as we move forward. So in this case, this probably would not be a great source. They do have a link here. They have a DOI link. Just in case you're not fully familiar with that, you either have like a website link or a link to it, a regular link, or you have a DOI. A URL would be an internet link, and that's sort of like an address. If that website would move or change in any way, that link may be broken. With a DOI, that's a digital object identifier, and that's going to sort of move with the website. So those are a little bit stronger with the links, and they're being used more and more for websites. So I don't know where this is going to take us. Okay, so again, we see the abstract, but it's not giving us the whole article, and that's likely because they're trying to get paid for it. So I would be really careful with that. Plus, another thing I noticed is this was published in 1987, so it wouldn't be that current, and you'll be able to find better things than that particular article. All right, let's just look at one more in Google Scholar, and then we'll move on. Okay, this is Global Conservation Priorities for Marine Turtles, and we have an abstract. It looks like this may be a full text article. So this one may work. Part of the exploration, part of the inquiry that you'll be doing will be for you to determine if it is a full text, if it is scholarly. This is looking promising, and it's not asking us to buy anything. But again, part of it is for you to sort of go through the whole availability for each hit and just see, what they're giving you. So, and also determine, who published it and the age of it. So this was 2011. That's a little older, but it may contain some relevant information. Okay, now we've sort of gone to Google Scholar. Now let's try some things like Facebook, Twitter, and TED Talks are good too. YouTube is good. So again, we're exploring topics. We're just trying to see. So let's go. Let me go here. I'll open up a new tab. I'm going to go to my Facebook page, and then let's do conservation of turtles. Some of you may have Facebook accounts and some of you may not, but this serves to be a pretty good site just for discovering information. A lot of times you'll get linked to pages. So in this case, there's a Turtle Conservancy and a Turtle Conservation Activities link, the Society, a Turtle Conservation Society of Malaysia. So all sorts of things that might be interesting, and sometimes you're just sort of fact-finding. Here's a friend of mine, and she is actually involved in turtle conservation at her beach. I think she lives in South Carolina. So here's an initiative that comes up. So sometimes if you are active in Facebook, you'll see that maybe some of your friends are. It might be something you would talk to them about. But more than that, you're going to be linked to these pages that are within Facebook, and that's kind of cool because it gives you a lot of current information as far as what things are relevant today, how things are being discussed, and probably it'll again take notes because you're going to be getting some information about groups that may be doing projects, and it'll probably give you a way to transition that information to the scholarly websites. So I'm trying to think if I can find something that's maybe interesting. I don't know that I want to go to Malaysia, but let's do the Think Turtle Conservation Initiative. So this is about species recovery and the safe passage of the turtles once they're hatched. In case you don't know, turtles put their eggs on the beach, and then the eggs hatch, and then the little baby turtles have to make it to the ocean. So a lot of these conservation groups help them. They make sure it's a safe environment, it's not disturbed, and then they help the turtles get to the ocean. So anyway, in this case, you could just sort of go through. There will probably be a lot of pictures and a lot of posts, things that they've done for that conservation. Okay. Every little hit you get is not going to work perfectly, but our main goal here is to see what you're interested in, see what kind of information is available, and again, take those notes so that then you can transfer that later to more of a scholarly endeavor. So it just helps you explore the topic. It helps you determine what you're interested in, what's available, what's relevant, and what's current. Okay, so that was Facebook. And next, let's do Twitter. Hopefully it takes me straight in. I hope I don't have to put in any kind of things. Okay, so with Twitter, what you can do is you can do a lot of hashtags type stuff. So if I want to go over here and I just want to do like a hashtag, I could say, if I could type, hold on, let me go back to that. Okay, hashtag save the turtles. That may seem silly, but I'm sure that that's going to bring something up. With Twitter, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it might be a society that actually is very serious about the topic. Sometimes it might be a meme. You never know, but at least it keeps your brain active with it, and it sort of keeps things going. I do want to address that sometimes a lot of people make fun of trying to save the turtles and the VSCO girls and things like that. So, but that's okay. If you don't like how that hashtag kind of came up, you could go back and let's see what happens when we do turtle, conservation. Okay, so I might get better hits with that because Save the Turtles, I started noticing that people were sort of making fun of it. Like I said, the VSCO girls came into it. If you're not familiar with the VSCO girls, I'm sure you are, but that's sort of like a trend right now with sort of some stereotypes about how some girls behave. And so that, you know, I wasn't really pleased for myself looking for that, so then I just changed up the hashtag. The other thing you can do is once you read through here, sometimes, so here, just as an example, you'll see that this person had turtle conservation for hashtag, but then there's some other hashtags. And if you see something that's interesting, go ahead and click on that hashtag. It'll lead you to something else about that topic. In this case, I probably wouldn't click on any of these hashtags because it seems very casual and probably wouldn't take me in any kind of direction for a research topic. Interestingly enough, this little post is talking about nature versus technology. I mean, there might be something there. I would say just go through. Sometimes it might be a video, sometimes it might be a group. It's just, you just have to kind of spend some time with it. And these are things that you do anyway. We all, most of us, or many of us, have a smartphone. We kind of go through feeds and we go through things that people have posted. And I'm just going to allow you to do that with a topic. I do it again because I want you to feel comfortable with your topic and I want you to sort of get excited about your topic. And I don't want it to just to be a topic that's sort of like something that you don't want to touch or you don't want to have anything to do with. So I think by doing these explorations, it does help. Anyway, so that's how Twitter would work. Now, Instagram's kind of hot and cold. Most of us do Instagram on our phones, so I don't always like to do it on a computer screen because it just doesn't seem to show up as well. So here's my Instagram, and let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to go here and search turtle conservation. So I did see a turtle conservancy there, and that might be something that's interesting. Okay. The thing that I don't particularly like as much about Instagram is a lot of times it's very picture based. But you know, if that keeps you interested in the topic, that's fine. And you may see the thing about Instagram is sometimes you'll start to see groups that have posted for that topic, and that might help you too. Not conversation. Okay. All right. I'm not really getting a lot here, but again, I'm sort of jumping around a lot. And when you do this, again, you can do it on your phone if you have a smartphone. You'll probably tap into some things that I'm not being able to do because I'm just trying to show you kind of the directions for it. All right, let's go to YouTube. And so YouTube's pretty cool because you're not having to read anything, so I'm giving you a break on reading. A lot of times these groups will post informational videos that you can watch, and I think that's a great way to just delve into the topic and see if you're still interested in it. They may even show a different avenue to the topic, you know, a different direction, and then you may want to research that further. Here's the survival of the sea turtle and some volunteer work and just different things that may help you understand the topic better. The other way to use YouTube, and you can either go directly to the TED Talk site or you can just type in TED Talk because they're on YouTube. But TED Talks, they have a page. I thought I had already subscribed to that, but I didn't. So since we know we want a TED Talk on turtle conservation, we'll see what comes up. Look at this. So there's a TED Talk on sea turtle survival and conservation, Sea Turtles United by Oceans, all sorts of things with the TED Talk idea. Saving the sea turtles. Here's something from a kid's TED Talk. That may not be the best one to choose, but it may be interesting to watch. So you have two projects. You have one where you're just showing me what you found in this search, just like what I just did. Like I said, I only use pretty much the one search phrase or keywords. With you, I want you to change it up a little bit because you're having to do 5 of those, and I want you to show me that you've changed up how you search the topic. So in the column for that assignment where it asks you to put the keywords or key phrases, make sure you're showing me that you did change it somewhat. For the purposes of just showing it to you, I kept it the same. And then you have a TED Talk reflection where you're going to actually watch a TED Talk, and then you're going to write a little one-page reflection on it to tell me what you thought about it and what information you gained from it, and just a general reflection. It's very general, a very general assignment. So I hope this explains sort of the concept that I'm asking you to do. Like I said, it may not be anything you've ever done before, and it may not be super comfortable when you first start it, but I promise you that I've had students tell me that this really did help them sort of center on a topic that they felt like they could do something with, that they had some kind of interest in. And it's better to go into the scholarly research with sort of a foundation, even if it's a light foundation of knowledge on that topic. Also, just one last thing, I want to remind you that I have the list of topics that you cannot research, and just a quick overview, but look at my list, would be abortion, legalization of marijuana, gun control, death penalty, euthanasia. I feel like a lot of those topics have been overdone. They're very generalized, and I think it's very tough sometimes to do service to those, and some of those are faith-based, some of them are rich with opinion, and it's just kind of hard to bring that into the scholarly mode. So Good luck with this. If you still have any questions, please email me, and I look forward to seeing all the great research you're going to do with your social media sites, as well as your TED Talk review. One last thing we didn't do was LinkedIn. If you would love to use LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn, please feel free to do that. I'm not going to go into a big search, but LinkedIn is a business social media that you can use. And I know everybody doesn't have an account, so that's sort of why I don't promote it a lot. But if you're on LinkedIn, please feel free to utilize it. It is absolutely a lot like a Facebook account. It's what a lot of professionals use, and you can search in here and tap into a lot of businesses if you want to through that. So any of those would work for this assignment. Good luck. I look forward to seeing everything you do with it.